What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do a video on some of the items I picked up from a local garage sale. Basically how I was able to turn $200 of an initial investment and basically get about $2,000 of profit, not $2,000 of listing, but $2,000 of profit in my pocket listed on eBay. And you guys can do this as well. I know a lot of my subscribers also enjoy my channel for some of the coins and other collectible stuff that I go through. So I look at this as a means of, okay, I know everything costs more and we have less and less money to buy the fun stuff with, which I always enjoy taking my extra funds and reinvesting that into silver coins, any type of collectible coins, and then sharing it with others on eBay. So I love going to my local coin shop. I do it when I have about $500 to $1,000 to spend, so I at least get a decent amount of inventory. I don't want to make a 45-minute round trip just to pick up 2 coins. That's too expensive based on gas today. But anyways, this past weekend, I met a really nice gentleman named Chris. He had a bunch of signs outside. I knew it was a nice area in Glen Ellen, the town that I live in, and it was also in an area too where the homes are a little bit bigger, and it's kind of an unincorporated area too. There's like no sidewalks there. So I was like, man, this would be probably pretty good. So I pulled in there on a Saturday. Man, guys, it was super hot. It was like 94 degrees outside, and I pulled in late. So he was ending his sale like at 3 on a Saturday, and I pulled in like at 2:30. And I just want to show you some of the items that I picked up and how I'm going to turn these items into $2,000 profit. So here's just a snapshot of my eBay store. Past 90 days, I've sold $11,353 worth of items. I have 1,350 items active, and I've sold 518. So the sold number is basically what I've sold in the past 90 days. So my sell-through rate's pretty close to 50%. So what that means in plain English for those of you who are newer to eBay or getting into reselling, if you were to list 100 items on eBay and every 90 days you sell 50, that means you have a 50% sell-through rate. So if you see other or hear other channels talking about sell-through rate, that's really what it's all about. But basically that means in 90 days, or in 180 days in my case, if I just stopped listing, technically all my stuff should be gone. That's not real life, that's just a prediction, but that's a good number to deal with. I know there's other channels that are better, some that have 300 listed, and then you see their solds and they have 300 sold. So that means they're doing 100% sell-through, which is fine too. A lot of the other channels will say just buy stuff that has a good sell-through rate, but a lot of those channels are literally going into, I want to call them retail locations. So they're doing retail arbitrage, which means they're going to, retail stores, buying brand new stuff, or they're going to thrift shops, buying clothing, things like that. So this will be a little different. I basically invested $200 in a local garage sale. And the first day I picked up, I spent $50. So I'm going to show you some of the items that I picked up. And I already sold like $90 worth of stuff from that garage sale. And that was just this past weekend. So one thing that's very important is when you do make purchases, you want to make sure that you get your items listed right away. So I'm not making Shai Sharin's museum of goods, meaning no one in the world knows I have these. They're just sitting in a pile somewhere. I'm basically doing this to get them out there as soon as possible. So whatever you do end up picking up in a garage sale, do keep that in mind. Make sure it's going to sell. Make sure you get it at a really good price. You want to at least 10 times your money if you're going to spend the time to do the research, list something, even if something that you're not very familiar with, and it's going to be worth your time. So I'm going to get started here. The very first item I picked up, so all the stuff that I'm scrolling through is everything that I've listed from the garage sale. So let's see. Yeah, let's get it started right here. So one of the first items I picked up were he had some golf club covers, and these were brand new. So Callaway Golf is a good brand, and I knew these just knowing that I've researched these before in the past. They can go pretty expensive, especially brand new ones. So these typically all day sell for about $10. I'm running a sale right now, $7.50. He had these marked for $2, and I first went on the Saturday. I bought 3 of these, and I kept the He had like a 3-wood one, and he had 3 5-wood ones, and he had like a ladies one. I just left that because I'm like, I'm gonna just get these because they're the driver ones, and there was 3 of them. So I got those home, listed them right away, and then as I was doing research, I'm like, oh, I should go back there the next day and grab the 5-wood, the 3-wood, and the ladies one, because the 3-wood and 5-wood ones are actually worth a little bit more because people lose them faster, which makes sense. If you ever golfed, it's pretty hard to lose your driver cover because usually the dudes behind you or the ladies behind you will tell you in the next tee box, they catch up with you, they'll be like, hey, you left your driver cover on the tee box. But if you pull out your 3-wood or your 5-wood on the range, I shouldn't say the range, on like the fairway, or a lot of us don't golf really well and we're hitting it off in the rough or in the woods somewhere and we're using a 5-wood or 3-wood to get out, those covers tend to typically get lost much faster. So those are worth a little bit more because people lose them faster. So it's pretty interesting. This thing here I picked up, he had some vintage dominoes. I remember these from as a kid. So these he had listed for $2. So I picked these up. I thought that was a really good deal. I actually sold these before. So I played with these as a kid. So I knew these were older. The ones I had didn't have this like little dot or this like little gold extruding piece there, but it's kind of nice because it makes the domino easier to pick up versus them all sticking together. But I remember as a kid, I always thought they were like made out of ivory, from an elephant, although they're not, but they're made to look that way. So I knew these are cool, and it was a complete set. Actually, I thought there was a missing one, but there's always a missing one. So you can get your finger in there. So there's 55 pieces. So again, happy to pick this up. I thought it was cool, so I figured maybe someone my age who wants to play dominoes or something with their grandkid or whatever would pick this up. So I thought this was a good idea for $2 and sell for $12. He had some Pez, so I also picked this up the first day. The Pez was 2 for $1. So I was like, oh, 50 cents. I'm like, you try and buy Pez at the store today, it's like, it's at least 3, 4, maybe $5. So, and these were Star Wars ones from 2016, I believe. So my grandson's really into Darth Vader lately, and he had an extra Kylo Ren. So I was like, maybe I can pick these up. So I gave my grandson the spare Kylo Ren here, and I gave him the Darth Vader, and he loves them. No, I didn't give him the candy because he's like 2.5 years old, and the candy is old. I accidentally put a piece of candy. Well, I didn't say accidentally. I want to try it, put it in my mouth, crunched it, and it kind of tasted like basement. So I don't recommend eating old Pez from candies that you find. So obviously these are being resold for collectible reasons and not for actual candy. But anyways, this whole set here, I got that listed for $18.75. So I figured that was a good deal considering that's $2.50 in the initial investment. And then as far as this guy here, so these boards here I picked up the second day. He ended up giving me all these. So I was like, okay. But he had them marked at like, what do you have marked at like $5 a piece or whatever. And I noticed another younger guy picked up one of these boards. So there's like guys that are younger than me that are into Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon type stuff. I've never played this card game, but I didn't realize this was from 1996, but he had all these brand new. He just gave them to me. So I decided to list those the cheapest on eBay. Probably take some time to sell all 22 of them, but there's some nice profit there, especially if you're getting something for free. And again, I was just building rapport with the guy. He's moving to Hawaii, super nice dude. He's like, here, let me give you some stuff. He actually gave me these as well. So I told him like, yeah, I'm into reselling. And he's like, hey, I do that too, man. So he's like, but here, you want, oh, he noticed I drove a BMW. So he's like, and you guys know I own a BMW. If you watch my channel, you've seen me like help you change the wiper blades. Recent video I just did of changing out the reservoir for the coolant. Again, if I figure out a way to save some money, I'm going to always share it with you guys. Even if you don't own a BMW, it's okay. I'm always here to help. So anyways, this particular ignition coil, it's from Chris. So he gave me a box of these. They're brand new. 6 of these. So they don't sell for a lot, but again, they were free. So I'm like, they don't fit in my car, otherwise I'd use them. So I listed them cheap so that the next person can take advantage versus getting hosed at the dealer or going to the local parts store and paying double. And then I also listed these 6 spark plugs Again, he gave these to me for free, and they're Bosch, and they're real Bosch. They're not from China Bosch. It's not the fake Bosch. This is the real made in Germany stuff. So again, happy to share this with the next person who needs it. And I decided to list them one at a time too, instead of. I noticed some people had pretty quick sales of 6 coils and 6 spark plugs for like $110. But I don't know, my brain says list them one at a time just to help someone out. And if someone's like, hey, can I get all 6? Then they can message me and I can combine the shipping for them. I really like this Callaway golf watch. I picked this up the very first day. I thought it was cool. It came in this case here. It's my wrist that I have it on here. But I'm super weird, so I was like, well, I know how to change batteries in watches because I bought the watch tools to, take links out of watches like this. One of my very first very successful videos is the Longines models. I had a blue and a green one during the pandemic that I did a video on, and that thing has like 25,000 views. So I have a lot of the tools to take links out. So I thought this was just cool looking, and he had a $5 price tag on it. So I was like, if I can get this thing working, I bet you I can get more than $5 for it. And it was in really good shape. Like, you could tell, like, dude never wore it. Now the box, this outer case is a little beat up, and then here's the battery that I installed. So I'm not the type that's like, oh, here you go, man, buy this watch, I hope it works, or good luck finding somebody to replace the battery. That probably costs $30 nowadays. So I was like, I'll just pick up a battery. So I picked up a 5-pack of batteries from Amazon for like $5 with free shipping. Got the batteries the next day and put it in myself. And again, I like learning too, so I enjoy taking the backs off of these things, making sure you put them on right so that they stay watertight, sealed with the rubber gasket. But I always think it's way better to sell stuff that actually works versus someone getting this and not being able to use it. Like, that would suck. And I figure too, like, it's Callaway, so someone that golfs would enjoy it. So I have it listed for $48.75. Again, I have $5 into it plus the $5 in batteries plus my labor, so I've got $10 into it. And to turn that into a $50 bill and someone else can enjoy this watch would be pretty cool. Again, very affordable. Recent comps too on those are probably like $80 to $100. This one I picked up the second day. This is brand new. I just thought it was kind of cool looking. This is the box that I saw at the garage sale. You had a $2 price tag on it, so I just grabbed it. And again, that was the half off day, so I got this for $1. But I'm like, dude, that's cool. It's like made in the United States too. So at least I think it is. What does it say here? Oh no, I'm sorry, made in China. One of the few things I buy in China. I try and stay away from made in China, but anyways, I thought this was cool. It reminded me of like something you pick up for like $9.95 at TJ Maxx or something. But anyways, it's $1, so whatever. $14 for the next buyer, and it's pretty old. The graphics sounded pretty cool, so I figured, man, if someone likes walnuts, there you go. All right, here's the other Callaway covers. So this was the ladies one. I left the very first day, so then the second day I picked this up because ladies lose their driver covers, I guess. That sells for $10 all day, so I got a sale on that. And then I sold one of the I sold the 3-wood one already for $17. That one sold for more because a lot of people lose those. But he had 3 of these 5-wood ones, so got a good price on these. Again, these normally go for $17 because I guess more people lose these. But Callaway is a very popular brand, and the fact that these are all brand new, sealed, I thought was really cool. Again, these were literally $1 the second day. This is probably the biggest pickup here. So if you guys are not familiar with Bob Shin's Crab House, it's a very famous crab house here in Wheeling, Illinois. And the owner of the restaurant, I think he started when he was like in his 50s, but he died a few years ago at age 99. But he's really famous for just creating a really cool open atmosphere restaurant, and big. I mean, really, really big. Like, you line up like cattle in there back in the heyday. But I remember eating there as a kid. Like, that was always special occasions. When my grandpa and my father were alive, and this was one of the things that the owner would wear, and then he would sell these Tyvek jackets. So if any of you guys are in housing, you know what Tyvek is. And if you're not into housing, Tyvek is a material that you wrap your house in. It's very warm material, and it's made by DuPont. So it's really weird that something like this is made. And the YKK Zipper company, which a lot of you clothing resellers are familiar with, that's also, this factory is actually located in Northbrook, and it's actually next to the old company I used to work for. I was called United Audio when I used to sell electronics. So our corporate headquarters across the street was the YKK zipper factory. It's not a very big building, but they make all the zippers around the world. But anyways, this is a really cool, like, what screams 90s like this. And this will be my thumbnail, more or less. So something very cool. So anyways, dude, again, I told him I resell. He's like, hey man, you know Bob Shins? I'm like, yeah. And then we were talking about like his son had a restaurant over here too that went out of business in Naperville or Lyle or whatever. But this restaurant here in Wheeling's still in business. And actually my wife and I went there the other day because I'm like, let's go to Bob Shins. I haven't been there since I was a kid. And it was really good. Anyways, so these sell for around 25 bucks. A couple other sellers have them for 25. I got a lot of these. I only have 10 listed, but he basically gave me 128 of these, and they're all brand new sealed. They're all from the 90s, and I got them for 50 bucks. So I have very little money into them. So he's like, man, you sell like 10, 8 jackets, you're in the money, man. Everything's positive after that. So he's like super cool. But at first he's like, man, if I could just get $1 for each one, I'd be really happy. He's like, I think I have like 300. He ended up just giving me like a brand new sealed box. I think I have 128. I really didn't count through all of it because again, I only have $50 invested in it. But this is like super cool, super 90s, and it's a size medium, which these are kind of like baggy style from the 90s. So the arm area is large. It's kind of puffy, and then like there's like a string on the bottom. It's just very, very, very 90s. So tons of Asian dudes around here like love this jacket. But it's kind of a joke. Like that was one of the things that he would sell at a shop. And when I went there, their apparel store did not have this. Like it was corporate-y already. So like all their apparel looked like, the stuff that you'd buy from like other YouTubers. Nothing like old school and cool like this. I was going to ask the kid behind the counter, but it would have like went over his head like, hey man, I got like a box of these. Do you think you guys would buy them from me? But I was like, nah, that's stupid. I'll just sell them myself. This just screams 90s and it's cool. Anyways. All right, this other item I picked up is this Glade stuff here, which is very, very interesting. So it's like, who would pick this up? But he had this basically on here, and he's like, yeah, I got a bunch of these. He had like each one marked at $2. He ended up giving me, I think, all of these, 14 of these for like $5. And I'm like, yeah, some of these Glade refill things, like the smells like get, they do whatever, and people like to buy, retired scents. So I've got these listed. Most recent sales $39 for 3 of them with free shipping. So I figured, man, 15 bucks for a pair of them with shipping is a good deal for someone that needs this scent. And then here's the other one here, the Autumn Cuddle. Again, turning $5 into whatever, 75 bucks. That's a no-brainer. This is the very first thing I picked up the second day. He had a Kane jersey, which was awesome, and it's a real one, so it's got real stitching on the name, and it's a legit one. Obviously, this is a real big deal. He's like, yeah, I only wore it to one game, and that was made in 2013, so I thought that was cool, and it actually fits me, too, if I ever wanted to go to a Blackhawks game, but I figured I'd sell it to the next guy. And then here's a legit Greg Maddux, Hall of Famer. So he played for the Cubs in the 90s, and he went for the Braves, and then he went back to the Cubs 2005, I think, 6 and 7. So this is from the second year he was with us. But very cool, very legit, very cool, authentic jersey. And someone tried to offer me like 65 bucks. So I'm like, no, I'm going to hold steady. I'd rather a local Cubs fan that really enjoys it would pick that up. Here's a piece of glass I picked up. I thought this was really cool. It's pretty big. But it's made in Poland. It still had the price tag on the bottom, 80 bucks here. It's probably from like a Pier 1 type store. And it's just a really nice, beautiful piece of glass. I'll probably sit on this forever, but that's 90 bucks. That was listed for 7, so he gave it to me for whatever, $4, which is crazy. This guy here is cool. This reminds me of back in the days. So you used to plug these timers into lamps to make it look like you're home. And they don't make this stuff anymore. So I thought it was cool. It's just brand new. So I figured, man, someone who has one of these that broke, even though they're built like tanks back in the day, probably could use it. So brand new. Again, it was $1. This game here was $2. Ended up being $1 with this 50% off sale. It's a cool solitaire set. And I couldn't resist on these, although I don't like reselling glass, but I'll sell a couple. So it's the old school Cubs, old style set here. It's pretty nice. That was a couple bucks. And same thing with this guy here. I think this was $1. And this is an old school legit from 1991 Cubs mug. And they're a little thicker. And then he had some cool ashtrays. This reminds me of back in the 70s. Anyone that was a smoker back then, which was probably like 90% of America, used something like this. So I just thought this was cool. It's used, but it's very nice condition. Again, that was $2. And then another cool ashtray for $2. Very, very cool. Here's the Harley exhaust that I picked up the very first day for $35. And I noticed comps were like over 100, and this is probably the nicest set that's listed on eBay right now. These look brand new. I don't think it's the original box that it's in. It's probably in the aftermarket exhaust box, but he told me, he's like, yeah, it's from a buddy of his. Probably just gave it to him. It's from like a 2014, I think, Champion Harley, but this model fits like a lot of Harleys. It's pretty standard. And then he had some old green phones here. A little Ma Bell action. So he had this listed for a couple bucks, and couldn't resist. I'm like, man, someone probably has this phone and probably could use a new one. I thought it was cool. So very, very, very early 2000s, late 90s, right? And this one lights up. So I listed those two different ways. He gave me these, which I didn't think had any value. I was going to use them, but I was like, man, someone could use them. I couldn't believe what koozies sell for. So again, those are brand new from back in the day. Sam Adams, remember all those commercials? This was something super weird. I don't think I would list this. He gave these to me too. This is, I thought it was for eggs. He's like, no, it's for escargot, man. But then I looked in the bottom, like, man, made in the USA. What is this stuff? So it's very cool. It's by a company called Hall. It actually has a model number on it. And I've got 4 of them. And they're very, very heavy duty. So I guess you can cook mushrooms or snails in really, really high temperatures in the oven, which is cool. Then he had a bag of, he had like this set here, which I initially thought was hockey because it was not built, but it's an old soccer Lego set, and he had $5 listed on it, so I got it for $2.50 because I bought it the second day. And I actually watched some videos on YouTube of guys playing this and setting this up. It's pretty cool. So it's an actual soccer set. You can put your minifigs on there. You need the ball and everything, but you can actually play soccer. So the most recent incomplete set sold for about $20, but it didn't have anywhere near as many pieces as I do, so I listed this for $40. Figured someone that has a set or wants to put one together, this would be a cool starting piece. It's pretty big too, like it's the arena or the stadium's very large, but it has like real nets and stuff. It's really neat. And the rest of these are just simply probably the worst thing ever to resell, which are old McDonald's Happy Meal toys. But I guess this He-Man one does pretty well at $10. Here's Panther from He-Man. So someone that collects toys probably would want this. So the He-Man stuff goes for a little bit more. Anything Toy Story 2 related. Again, these are old from 1999 when the movie came out. So there's Bullseye. That's Woody's horse. And some Lilo and Stitch, also from a similar era, 2002. And then the actual Finding Nemo characters. These are the School of Little... So this is the little guy that inked when he got scared, when Nemo first got lost. And then here's the puffer fish. And then everyone remembers the big scary great white shark. What was his name? Bruce. Yeah, that's when they had when he brought Nemo's dad in there with the hammerhead shark and the other shark and the other shark. They had to all show their friends because they weren't eating fish anymore, and Bruce was the leader. So very cool actual bath toy. But the rest of the stuff, again, these were the only items that were worth actually listing. This was in the same box, but I grabbed the whole box of stuff for $5, and there literally were over 100 items. So I was like, 10 cents a piece, can't go wrong. So these are the only ones that were worth listing. And then on some of these, I just listed it. It's like, here's a whole, like almost the complete Beauty and the Beast set. So if you're going to list Happy Meal toys, unless they're rare, which most of them are not, you're better off listing them in lots. So here's some Transformers. I mean, it said Megatron, Starscream. I don't know who Cyclonus is, but I know who Starscream and Megatron are, which means someone else will. And then these are kind of interesting. These are like Lego ones. So it's almost a complete set. I'm just missing, like, there's like one that looks like a human. The main reason I picked these up is because I wanted to give a bunch to my grandson, which I did. So I keep like there's probably like 40 extra spares I got. So anytime he's like in my office, I have a toy for him to open. And sometimes he wants me to open like 4 of them. And then it's like, nope, can't open anymore because then you're going to stop caring about it and stop. But he like literally plays with them. It's so cute. And he's like 2.5. So, and then here's a Goofy. Again, I just thought these are cool. I actually met the guy who made a lot of these Happy Meal toys in my business, or the business I do for a living. So he was actually one of the designers. So I don't know if you guys know this, but McDonald's is here in Illinois. And at the time, he helped design these toys. And I always tell the ones that he designed because they're really cool. But it's pretty amazing stuff. Their budgets on some of these toys were maybe like 39 cents. So can you imagine, like, your job as a designer is to be like super creative, but then you have to create something that is going to entertain a kid, want them to go to McDonald's for 39 to 48 cents, made in China, but not kill the kid and also not be a complete boring toy. So some of the cooler toys that like move or light up and actually move around and stuff are probably things that he designed. But he's got like the old molds, the old actual artist sketches. Like the dude would do everything. And after they made one, they'd have to make the next one. So it's like every 2 weeks, like come up with a really cool idea that's for under 50 cents. That's not going to kill a kid. Can you imagine the pressure? It was kind of scammy too because I guess the director was also like married to someone at McDonald's that decided on what toy would, which toy designer company would get the next toy line. And it literally was just 2 companies that were set up. So it wasn't a complete monopoly, but it pretty much was. Now these guys here, I remember this. So I was in my teenage years. Well, let's see, 1999, probably like, well, that was 99, almost going on 21, right? So I remember one of my buddy's moms who never ate McDonald's her entire life, but she would babysit kids. She literally, and I know a lot of other moms would do this, they were going to McDonald's because the Thai Beanie Babies were at their all-time peak in 99, and these Beanie Babies at McDonald's created a craze. So she would come home, and they would not sell you the toy individually. You had to buy a Happy Meal. So it'd be like me, my buddy, and then like a bunch of other friends. Like we just got done playing basketball or whatever. And she'd be like, hey guys, you want some Happy Meals? So she'd like come home with like 10 Happy Meals. It's like, dude, because like she just wanted the toy. She wanted to collect them all because they just give you like a random toy. So anyways, now they're completely worthless. But anyways, this is a nice set of 11. Again, 99, they're all sealed. I guess Chip the Cat used to be like really expensive. Someone's like psycho and listed Chip the Cat for like $2,800. That must be a listing from like from 1999 on eBay, and it's just like been the same listing over and over again. But it's pretty crazy what some people are trying to get for these, but it's the worst sell-through ever. Like for every 1,000 Beanie Babies, there might be 10 sold. So it's got like a 1% sell-through, meaning it might take you 10 years to sell one. So anyways, don't go buy Thai Beanie Babies from 1999 expecting to hit the jackpot. It's a massive fail. I did not want to give these to my grandson. He's too young, and I figured someone who's into collecting Beanie Babies or just for nostalgia purposes would be cool dropping $20 to get 11 of them. Anyways, so that's my video, guys. Adding all that stuff up, including the quantity I got, and again, profit will be 2,000. Oh, and I wanted to just show you real quick my recent sales of items. So this set here he gave me, so I was buying all the golf stuff, and I didn't know these had value, but these felt nice. So these are brand new Lambkin Crossline golf grips. So if you're at a garage sale and you see someone's got some brand new golf grips, I don't know if you've ever gone through the process of getting your grips or your golf clubs re-gripped, but the process is not cheap, meaning you got to buy the right grip. So the golf place like a Golf Galaxy or PGA Tour store is going to have a bunch. And then you also have to pay for the labor. And then sometimes they'll do it while you go do shopping, or you drop it off the morning, pick it up the next day. But usually it's like you want to do it before you actually go golfing the next day. But then you probably want like to try it on the range to make sure it's nice too. But anyways, these are really nice. These actually kind of mimic what Callaway would give you from the original factory golf club. So anyways, these four sold for $20. Got it for free. I don't recommend reselling golf clubs. I think it sucks. But if you are going to resell golf clubs, sell putters, because putters fit in the USPS priority triangular boxes because they're 36 inches long. This putter was all of 35 inches long, so it fits in that box perfectly without having to cut another box or make some weirdo custom box. But dudes and ladies, golf clubs are expensive to ship. So it's like you do one of two ways. You can go get some boxes, so you can make a special trip to PGA Tour store or Golf Galaxy or whatever the golf shop near you and be like, hey, can I buy your old boxes that you're just going to throw away? And they'll sell you a box. They're not cheap. They're like $5-6 a box, maybe 8, right? Because they're long and they're designed. A lot of them are designed to sell like to ship an entire set. So your best bet is to go to the source that gets these in sets. But if you want to get your box for free, you can order the postage box from the post office. It's a priority box, 36 inches long. When you fold it together, it becomes one big triangular cylinder. So it looks like a triangle, but it's got volume inside and it's long. And anyways, this in the box was 1 pound, 14 ounces. Guys, it cost $24.91 to ship this. The seller, the buyer, I'm the seller. The buyer paid $25 to get this golf club, which means I priced it right. I had it $59.95, no negotiation in price. I believe this is a $150 putter originally, so it was a nice shape. But I noticed like other people were selling theirs for like $80 and they weren't as nice. So if you are going to list a putter, or if you're going to grab one, make sure it looks nice, that someone didn't get angry and start banging it against a tree. Usually the only wear on these is basically from banging into other golf clubs in the golf bag as people are driving their golf carts over rough terrain. But this one was in nice shape. I don't know what year this is from, but also look at the grip. Make sure the grip's in good shape. That's not all beat up, and you don't want the rubber to feel like it's disintegrating. So this grip was really, really nice, because these golf grips for putters are actually really expensive. Well, I shouldn't say really expensive. I think like $25, but that's really expensive if you're going to spend $60 on a golf club and have to regrip it. So anyways, these are the pictures I took. I've never sold a golf club on eBay in my entire life. I just watched other videos, and I was surprised how fast that sold. So that was $90 or $60. So that was $90 of profit from the garage sale. So I spent $200, I already sold $90 worth of stuff, and we're on like day 3. Here's that cover I was telling you about, the 3-wood one. Oh, $13.49. And what else did I sell from the garage sale? There's my other sales here. There's some old clothes. If you guys run into clothes that are sport related, pick those up. So anything like soccer jerseys, that kind of thing. This was the first thing that sold from the garage sale. This was cool. This was $5. I just saw it. I thought it was cool. It's like, man, this is so 90s, right? Or early 2000s. And it's a Walkman from Sony. And it's got ESP. So what that means is, like, if you're running and the CD's skipping, the micro memory inside would like save 10 or 18 seconds of the song until you're now no longer jiggling around, so it wouldn't skip on you. But very big and bulky, probably the worst design ever. But I thought it was cool because it works, and you can play it off of battery. You can also hook up an auxiliary cord and connect it straight to your laptop or your stereo if you've got a mini adapter to RCA, and you can play your old CDs on it. So I thought it was cool that it worked. So again, he had it listed for $5. That's something I picked up the very first day, and it's really cool to turn $5 into $45. So it's probably about $39 pure profit. So I would do that all day long. So don't sleep on Walkmans. All right, well, that's pretty much it for what I sold on from the garage sale. The rest of this are just like other sales. I sold some big speakers too. But again, I like sharing this knowledge with you guys, so hopefully you guys appreciate it. So if you're going to make purchases at a garage sale, just don't overpay and just don't buy junk. Like, buy cool stuff, you know. Buy something that you would buy if you were in the market for something. So if you're like, I golf, I need new golf grips, you know, but don't overpay and don't try and ask like $100 for a putter. Like, give someone a deal. I mean, I got this putter for $5. So $5 into 59. So literally $5 into 50 after eBay fees. So that's called, you know, 10xing your money after fees. That's the way to do it. That's fun. And it helped him too. He's like, I'm not gonna use this putter, so whatever. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys watching my video. I'll catch you on the next one.